I'm learning so much about being myself and knowing what that feels like and feeling safe. How about you? Are you working on that journey? Welcome in. This year has been such a learning experience for me. And I feel like I've been starting this for about 10 years now. And maybe about 15, starting to really understand after I left corporate and I started my business and started realizing that I wasn't happy with who I was. Anybody else here ever feel that? You just feel like there's a disconnect here, but I don't know for sure what it is. But I already feel bad. This is how I felt 15 years ago. I already feel bad and disconnected with everything. So what if I go all out and just be quiet and start listening to my mind? And I'll tell you what the first step was that I started feeling and the steps I've been going through in these past 17 years. My phone holder is making noise. Sorry about that. I remember when I started hearing my chaos of, learning how to get in my mind and start really being able to hear what was going on in my brain. Because I could start hearing stuff like, you're ugly, you're dumb, you're not worthy of anything, and these things. And that was the beginning of my journey of really finally starting to open up. But my next part of my journey, let's just say it was a couple of years later, when I started making those changes of discovering who I was, being able to be truthful. And when I started doing that, there was like a fraud syndrome that started happening. And I could even see a finger pointing at me. And it was like, you're not that much love. You're not that friendly. You're not, this. You just told somebody that. That is so not true. And it startled me because at this point, I was meditating a lot. And I was working with clients on mindset. So every day I was working on these strategies that helped me understand that I was getting to know myself more. And it felt engaging and loving and fun, but it also felt very scary. And I realized why people were saying people don't change. Because I was afraid to change. But I kept going at it. And it was because of so many reasons. I think this is a little bit of my personality, but when I realized I wanted to change because I was not happy in anything that I was part of, my relationships, how I was showing up, me as a mama, me as a wife, all of that, I was very unhappy. And I thought, well, you're being hard on yourself. And I realized, no, I'm actually asking more of myself. And when I started discovering that, it opened up so many big doors for me, because even though I felt raw and vulnerable, like doing videos like this and sharing, I knew I was feeling some fear. I also knew that if I didn't do it, that what was coming back at me was a backlash of the things that I was doing to myself over the years. Was the whole, you can't do what you want to do. There's no way that you can make life happier and bigger and bolder and creative, and there's no way that you can ask for more love in your life. You're only this much love worthy, like the abundance of that. And I was learning to flip that so I could understand that. Question for you. Where in your life have you felt like you wanted to really show up? And so you did for like the first few days or a month or whatever. You go, I changed. And then you change. But then you have in your mind tearing you up, tearing stuff up, tearing your relationships up. And I learned this by watching videos, by reading, by studying, by coaching, learning and listening and looking at people and wanting to learn more about what they were doing. Wanting to understand how I interacted with people. Especially while I was coaching, because I wanted that safe space with everybody. But the best way for me to do that was with my clients, because they expected it. Where some people I started making these changes, people would look at me like I was odd and like I was playing a game. And I still had to keep working with that. Like, am I really playing a game? Is this really me? And so I just got to tell you, our journey and our picture can be bigger and bolder than we believe. I wrote a show called Fresh Talks Global Vision. I get to be with so many experts every single day. I may not be interviewing every day, but I'm talking to people and being part of events and learning from others. And I really want to keep learning. And I feel like if I keep learning, then I'll understand what my natural self really is. I think I know, I'm discovering, but I know that if I stay in the raw and vulnerable space, and I want to know from you, what are you doing to make your changes? Do you feel this too, that every time you make a change that there's some raw feeling, you're believing that there's bigger and bolder space out there in life? Again, sorry for my phone holder. I won't use this next time. It's making lots of noise. But I want to say I'm all in. Because if we can be all in, we get to see a bigger and bolder picture of what we're doing and what we're creating. And we get to create life in the way that makes us happy. But we get to see and hear others to be able to have a very, very cohesive relationship together. I care about that. I call it hashtag speaker locking arms. That we're there to help each other. I know I'm there to help myself, so I get to learn about what's happening in my brain, what has stopped me from getting to a bigger, bolder me. And I ask that of you, because I get excited about this, because I really believe that we can live life where there's no blaming and shaming. And if we keep creating like the clients or the friends, and we create this atmosphere that we go, I will only work with you if you believe in me, and also that you are ready for this change. And then with my personal relationship is really looking in and being able to hear what that other person is saying, even when they're calling me out on something. Like you just said that. And my kids have been very good at calling me out on stuff. It's been wonderful. Painful. And my hubby called me out on something last night. And it's like, yeah, but I mean, this is what I'm in for. What are you in for? What are you ready to make changes in your life for? I would love to hear. This means a lot. Hashtag speaker locking arms. Let's stop the blaming and shaming. Let's open up our vocals. I believe that we can all open up our vocals. Don't allow people to shut us down. And the more we open up our voice, the more we get to bring smiles to people's faces, help them feel safe. Because I want to feel safe. When I feel safe, it's because I'm smiling and in love. I love you. In sign language. Namaste.